Okay, H105, I have a lot to say to you just because there's a lot to go over with the syllabus. So I'm going to do my best to be brief but clear. So, for starters, this is Indiana University H105 American History 1. This is a dual credit course, meaning this is essentially this is a college course. IU has made it very clear that in order for this course to be accredited, meaning that in order for this course to qualify and give you credit, you are to be held to the expectations and responsibilities of college students. There's a lot there. And needless to say, this is not an easy class. But that's okay. We'll work through it, and we will get through it. So, simply put, regarding what this course is, this is a survey of American history, roughly from its colonization by Great Britain up until the Civil War and Reconstruction. Specifically, we're going to be examining how, during this period, the United States transforms and develops from an agrarian democracy, or from an agrarian, pretty politically exclusive society into more of an industrial democracy. If these terms sound kind of confusing or foreign to you, that's okay. This is, again, a complicated course. We will deal with this as we go through. So to touch on first, I'm basically just going to be going through the syllabus in this video. You can find the syllabus on the syllabus tab on Canvas. And I'm basically just going to be following straight along with it. So first, I want to touch my contact information. I will be having office hours every week. We're going virtual every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 to 8:30 via Zoom. Now, I know in the letter that I sent out initially to you guys, we were going to hold these Thursdays at 8, and Thursdays would be the only ones that were required. The other ACP courses at Shenandoah have been required by their departments to essentially meet face-to-face, have as many what we call synchronous contact hours with you guys as IU students would be having during the week. So since this is a 3-credit class, we would need to meet 3 days a week for roughly 3 hours. Since the history department has not responded to my question about whether or not this is a requirement from history, we're going to err on the safe side and make all 3 days, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, required at 8 until I hear otherwise. Again, just want to make sure we're ticking off all the boxes to make sure you guys get your credit, because you guys are going to work really hard in this class, and when you make it through, you deserve your credit. So Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, 8 o'clock via Zoom, required. Every week we're going virtual. If that changes, I will let you know. If you need to get in touch with me outside of my office hours, outside of our meetings, email is the best way to do that. My email, as it says on the syllabus, is tmarks@shenandoah.k12.in.us. Again, email is the best way to get a hold of me and get in touch with me outside of office hours. Okay, hours description. As you should have noticed by picking up your materials, you have 3 books for this class, this first semester. The first is This, the American Promise, this is your textbook. This is giving you basically what we call the historical narrative. This is giving you more or less just the basic information or the historical context for the bulk of what we do in class, which is going to be looking at primary sources. So when you have this book, Your America Firsthand, if you look in here, these are primary sources. Most of the time, what we're doing in class, we're going to be evaluating and examining and analyzing primary sources and basically using the information and the evidence we glean from these sources to try and interpret the past, inform our history. This is the work of what historians do. And I use intention with this course is to give you an idea of what professional historians actually do. So this is what we're doing. This is what they do. And I'm going to let you know it's not easy. It takes a lot of time to get in the habit of both learning the general historical narrative and then being able to analyze primary sources and try and see how they fit into that. It's going to be hard, and that's okay. We're going to work a lot at this, especially with what we call history labs, where basically we'll have a general historical question that we're going to have a number of sources to try and use to come to an answer about. And these historical questions are going to be pretty, what's the way to describe it? They're going to be questions that there's not necessarily a right or wrong answer. It's all a matter of interpretation, and how you interpret it should be based upon the evidence you see in these sources. And so when I said in that welcome letter that I would like for this course to be more about you reaching your own conclusions about history by examining these sources and examining them in the context of the historical narrative, that's what I mean. What matters is not can you regurgitate information from the textbook? What matters in this course is can you interpret the information from the textbook and the sources we read, and can you articulate your interpretation and explain your reasoning and the evidence you're using to base this interpretation on? And again, this is not easy. This is very different from high school history, but in my opinion, this is way more fun because you get to basically base it on your own opinion, which is pretty fun, and you get to get a sense of what it is that historians do on a day-to-day basis. You'll also be working with the nonfiction story Celia, a Slave. Where's my copy of Celia? Right here. And I will talk more about Celia when we get closer to that. We're not going to, if you looked at the syllabus that I attached, that I handed out to you with your material pickup, we're not going to get to Celia until late in the semester. It deals with antebellum and Civil War stuff. But that is something we're also going to look at this semester. Okay, let's see. So regarding attendance, if you cannot make one of the required Zoom meetings, let me know as soon as possible. I will do my best to work something out. We will work something out. So like if you have a tech issue, if something's come up, or whatever, and you can't make it, let me know and we will work something out. But do your very best to be at these required meetings. Not only will it be a way for us to kind of interact face to face and make this more of a discussion-based class like it's supposed to be, but also it will give me, it'll make it easier for me to pick up on where you might be struggling or where you might be having problems before we reach the point of no return. To that end, and this kind of comes along with the greater responsibility being placed upon you as basically college students in this class. If you feel confused, if you have questions, if you feel lost, it is your responsibility to get in touch with me and communicate. If something comes up and you're having difficulties with the course, let me know as soon as possible. The longer you wait and the farther back you fall behind, the harder it is for you to catch up. And that's really what college is like. It's all on you to reach out to your instructors if you're having difficulties. So please do not hesitate to let me know and reach out if you're struggling. I will do my best to help you. We will get through it, but I can't do that if you don't let me know that you're struggling and you need help. Okay. Late work. This should hopefully be no difficulty for you guys, but assignments are due at the date and time, by the date and time they're posted on Canvas. If you submit it after that, it's late. You will lose points for late work. And there's, again, there is flexibility in terms of if you let me know beforehand or if you let me know that there's a legitimate reason why you can't do this on time. But with this being a dual credit class, there's substantially less flexibility with late work than there is in other classes. I keep hitting on this, but I'm going to reiterate it more. Communication is really important, especially while we're virtual, because since I'm not going to see you every day, it is really important that you maintain proper communication with me. So to that end, one, again, reach out if you're having problems, if you're struggling. Two, I'm going to be sending out important information about the course on a regular basis electronically. So it's really important and it's expected that you check Canvas, that you check your Shenandoah email, and you check your Canvas email or inbox daily. It is expected and it's really important that you check all of those three things every single day. Also, as IU students, you will be issued IU email accounts and Indiana University Tech accounts. Later on next week, I will walk you through the information and I will send out the information that you need to set those up if IU has not already reached out and done that. I don't want to overwhelm you so much, so we'll wait a little bit to set up your IU accounts and actually register for this class at IU. But we will go through that. I will make sure you have the information you need to do that. Let's see. Again, seems common sense, but I'm going to reiterate, not checking your email or missing a required Zoom meeting, that is not a valid excuse for not having or missing important information about the course. So check that stuff, come to the meetings. If there's a problem, let me know as soon as possible. Again, communication's key. Let's see, the dual credit policy statement. Basically, what this means is that this is a college course. It is of substantially greater rigor than the high school course, but passing this course with an IU grade will result in you getting an IU history credit for H106 American History 1, which should transfer as American History 1 or History Elective or something like that to most universities. Let's see. IU misconduct statement. Don't cheat. Don't plagiarize. Not only is that something I take really seriously, this is something that IU takes really seriously. So just don't do it. Okay. So grade breakdowns and basically what this course is going to look like. So your Shenandoah grade and your IU grade are going to be based on separate weightings. The IU grade comes directly from IU. There is nothing I can do to change that. So the way your IU grade is broken down is 30% comes from your analytical papers. So you will write 2 analytical papers each semester, ideally 1 every quarter, assuming the schedule doesn't get too screwed up because of the dumpster fire that is 2020. But you will write 2 analytical papers per semester, and together those papers will be worth 30%. When we get closer to those papers, to the first one of those papers, I will give you more information about it. You will also have 2 smaller research-based projects and assignments per semester. Again, ideally 1 per quarter. That will count for 20%. You'll have exams or tests, which will count for 20%. History labs, which is the bulk of what we'll do in class, where we're analyzing and interpreting these primary sources, will count for 20%. And lastly, class participation, 10%. And basically, as long as you're doing your work, you are attending the required Zoom meetings, you're doing your attendance quizzes, you will get your participation points, and that's not going to be a problem for you. Your Shenandoah grade breakdown is a bit different. And ideally, it's meant to actually be a bit easier to to get you a higher grade. So if you have questions about that, shoot me an email, bring them up in my office hours. But basically, the point I want you to take away from the grade breakdowns is that there are substantially fewer assignments that your grade is based upon. And that is what college is like. So you're not necessarily going to have as much homework that's necessarily graded on like a nightly basis per se. Your homework is really more of doing the required readings to make sure you're prepared for discussion and for history labs. Without these readings, without doing the proper readings, you're not really going to be prepared for discussion. You're not going to be prepared for lectures or history labs, and you're not really going to be set up to do well on exams, and you're not going to be set up to do well on your analytical papers or your research projects. So I cannot stress to you enough how important it is to do the readings. I know it's a lot. I know it's way more than you're used to. This is also way less than history classes get up to in college. This is what freshman level history, a college freshman level history is like. You're going to write a lot, and you're going to read a lot. Okay. If you have questions about our course schedule, basically I have our outline at the bottom of the syllabus, all the major units. And as you can see, our units are based around historical questions and historical problems. And I also have the readings for each unit listed there. So the first unit that we're starting this week is addressing the historical problems of why did people immigrate to British North America, and to what extent were these British colonies a land of opportunity, as they are so often called. So to that end, for Thursday, make sure you have chapters 3 and 4 in Rourke read. And for Friday, make sure you have John Smith, Description of Virginia in America Firsthand read. Both of these are going to be really important. Again, Rourke is going to provide you with the context for the sources we're going to look at. And with Friday, what I'm going to do is basically do a model walkthrough history lab over this John Smith source for you to give you an idea of what a history lab is like. But again, if you don't have these readings done, you are not properly prepared for this. So I know this is a long video, but I had a lot to cover. I think I addressed everything important. If you have any questions, send me an email, bring them up in my office hours. I realize this is going to be a hard class. I realize this is not the ideal format for this class. I really wish we could be in the classroom right now, and I hope we can get in the classroom sooner rather than later. But if we put forth maximum effort, if we go into this with an open mind, I think we can still make this beneficial and meaningful for all of us. So to that end, I will see you when I see you.